Welcome back to another Fireside Q&A with the charismatic voice. Today I'm going to be taking a deep dive into vocal registrations and specifically looking at how Dimash Kudaibergen uses vocal registrations in his voice. But before we do that, here are a few quick answers to some of your other questions. Juliana Goodwin asked, what's the difference between an operatic voice and a Broadway-esque voice? Thanks for the question, Juliana. The biggest difference between opera and musical theater is amplification. So opera singers are trained to project over an orchestra and into a big auditorium without any microphone. That means that their voices tend to be a little more thick and heavy, and also their consonants tend to be very, very powerful to help them project. Whereas musical theater singers are trained on microphones, so their voices tend to be a little more clear, maybe a little thinner or lighter, though no less lovely, and they're able to have more nuanced diction. Estera Sudasal, hope I'm saying that right, asked, how do braces affect singing? Thanks for the awesome question, Estera, and sorry if I totally butchered your name. There are two main things you want to watch out for with braces. First of all, they can cause some mouth tension, specifically jaw tension, so try to relax your jaw. And also, they can affect your pronunciation, especially around your lips. So try to have an active mouth and also go for really clear words. Otohikoamv, or Otohikoamv, asked, what's the worst/most common bad habit that untrained singers develop? Thank you for the question, Otto. I don't know how to say your name, but thank you very much. In my opinion, the worst bad habit that many untrained singers develop is just launching air at high notes to really push them out. This is particularly rough on your vocal cords, and you actually don't need as much air for a high note as you do for a low note. It just needs to be steady and supported. So if you'd like to combat that on your own, I recommend singing through a straw. Check out my SOVT exercises video for more on that. And now it's time for our deep dive into vocal registers. A bunch of you have asked questions about Dimash Kudaibergen's voice and also about your own vocal registers. So we're going to take a look at what vocal registers are and how Dimash uses his. A vocal register is a range of sung pitches that's produced using a particular muscle combination and laryngeal position. When you sing, a variety of muscle groups are engaged inside your throat. And as you go from a low note to a high note, different muscle combinations make it easier to sing certain pitches. You can feel this if you notice that maybe one particular area of your voice is a lot heavier and another area is lighter. As you go up, it's kind of like shifting vocal gears. And which muscle group is dominant and what your laryngeal position is determines which vocal register you're using. Scientifically, there are 5 identified vocal registers. The lowest is pulse register, which is also called vocal fry. It creates an extremely low pitch that is below your normal speaking voice. It kind of sounds like a low and creepy growl. And muscle-wise, this is the only register that just uses the thyroarytenoids. This is what Dimash sounds like when using vocal fry.
Я в глаза твои, как в зеркало смотрюсь.
See, really low and kind of creepy. The next lowest register is called chest voice. In this register, both the thyroarytenoids and cricothyroid muscle groups are engaged, but the thyroarytenoids, or TAs, are dominant. It typically has a more full and bold sound than the higher registers. And here's Dimash singing in chest voice.
Ночью и днем сгорать в костре грешной страсти. Voy arriverai, dove il cuor ti porterà, e per te sarà più bello che ci sia.
I particularly like the way that Dimash has a really deep and manly sound in his chest voice. The register right above chest is called head voice. In this register, both the thyroarytenoids and cricothyroids are engaged, but the cricothyroids, or CT muscles, are dominant. And it's just lighter overall in tone quality than the chest voice. Here's Dimash in head voice.
Засыпает без тебя. У меня в гостях мечта.
The next register up loses that more condensed sound quality and sounds a little hootier. This register is called falsetto, and only the cricothyroid muscles are engaged, with a few other external laryngeal muscles that assist. Also, the vibration of the vocal folds only occurs on the very top layer. Falsetto is usually identified with males that are singing high and have an almost female-like or ethereal tone quality. And here's some Dimash sounding like a total angel while singing in falsetto. The highest vocal register is called whistle register, and again, only the cricothyroids or CT muscles are engaged during whistle, but also only a smaller section of the vocal folds are being used to produce the sound. It's much more common to hear girls singing in whistle register than guys, and if you want to learn more about that, check out the deep dive I did a couple of weeks ago. For now, have some Dimash. So quick review, your 5 vocal registers are vocal fry, chest, head, falsetto, and whistle. But before we wrap this up, I want to talk about a couple of other vocal register questions that you guys have had. First off, Petalime asked, can you address what female falsetto means in a Q&A? Thanks for the awesome question, Petalime. Until recently, most people didn't think that females had a falsetto register. And then some scientists stuck some video cameras down a bunch of women's throats, and they observed that occasionally the vocal cords of females behaved in a similar fashion to males' vocal cords when they're singing in falsetto. But scientists would call this flute register for girls more often than falsetto for girls. Now, most women aren't aware of that shift. The shift between chest voice and head voice for women is very, very distinguishable. Whereas between head voice and falsetto, it doesn't feel like a big difference. But if you really want to try and find it, I suggest singing fairly high in your head voice with a lighter tone and maybe a little more floaty. And there have been quite a few of you who asked why some people refer to Dimash's high register as head voice instead of falsetto. Honestly, with no disrespect intended, this is one of my pet peeves. And that's because the terminology originated through hundreds of years of classical singing, and it's verified by science, aka data gathered from cameras looking at people's throats. And I wouldn't be opposed to changing that terminology if it wasn't actually confusing male head voice and female head voice. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that. Remember that falsetto and head register are defined by which muscle groups are activated and the laryngeal position. So if somebody says head voice and they're referring to a woman's upper register that is mixed muscle groups, but they also use head voice to refer to that upper male register, which is actually just using the CT muscles and a little bit of a different laryngeal position. To me, they're attributing the same term to a different physical functionality. And I think that that is either lacking in knowledge or misleading. That being said, it is a fairly common term to hear, especially in contemporary and pop music, and it can be really useful for describing a lighter and higher sensation in a person's voice. I hope that answers some of your questions about vocal registers, but please keep asking me questions, and I'll answer some more of them next week. See you soon.